guys, it's Kat at Kat Reviews Books, back with another video. I thought I would come on and do a little book haul today because I have acquired a lot of things since the year started, and I just kind of want to show them off. I figured we could get just down to the books. I have gotten, I believe, 19 books since the year started. I haven't bought all of them. I want to make it very clear. We do get some ARCs at works on occasion. Sometimes they will send us free complete copies. We'll just, they'll just be for promotional, not for resale. But I have bought a good chunk of these with either gift cards or just with my, paychecks. So the first book is Gary Paulsen's The Trounceil Saga. Listen, I've been looking for this book for years. I read this in middle school. It's a YA, sci-fi fantasy where the main character literally goes on a solo camping trip and then gets, transported into another world. And so it's, about him surviving there and adjusting to life there. I remember loving it. So I thought I would try to get a copy in at work, and it came. I was very lucky, and I'm excited to reread this. It's been a good while now. Okay, so after that, I have 4 books here that are technically on our banned book reading list. Some of these I haven't read. I have only read one of the 4 that I'm going to be showing you. I didn't have them for required reading, and I figured it was about time that I've gotten around to reading them. They all have been on my list for a little while, so I just went, why not? So first one is Brave New World. It's by Aldous Huxley. Somebody correct me if I pronounced the first name wrong, please. But I actually have read this one. I listened to it as an audiobook a couple years ago, not realizing what it was because I listened to it with my partner at the time, and we both really ended up enjoying it, and I thought it was about time that I got another shot at it. I'm gonna reread this. I'm hoping that maybe it'll be a bit more enjoyable to read the physical book than the audiobook was, but we'll find out when the time comes. Okay, the next book that is on my banned book reading list that I picked up is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I'm gonna be so real, guys. I have not read anything from Ray Bradbury yet, which feels disappointing because I love the Ray Bradbury theater that they have as a show. Super obsessed. And also, this book is literally apparently about banned books. Why have I not read this? It's literally sci-fi. It's dystopian. It's my favorite genre. Why have I put it off so long? Okay. The next 2 banned books I'm going to do together because they're from the same author, of course. We have 1984 from George Orwell, and also Animal Farm from George Orwell. The fact that I have never had to read any of these and everyone else did in school literally is so bizarre to me, but I had kind of a fun English teacher who had us reading things like Unwind and a couple other things. And I remember the senior, junior English teacher also had them reading things like And Then There Were None and so on and so forth, which is why And Then There Were None is my favorite book. Okay, next book that I have, Power of Six from Atticus Lore. This is the sequel to I Am Number 4. It is YA sci-fi. I guess there's a group of 9 aliens who come with guardians to Earth, and then they're hunted down in the order that they arrive to Earth or something. I honestly don't know too much about the series. I just know that it sounded like my vibe since I like sci-fi so much. So I picked up I Am Number 4 in a little free buy library 3 years ago now, I guess. And I just saw this in our little free library up the road the other day, and I thought, well, if I'm gonna get around to reading the series eventually, I might as well just grab it. It's free. Okay, the next 4 books I have are a series. They are special editions. So I have the Hunger Games special editions with the floral edges. I read these last year or the year before for the first time and loved them. I put them off so long because I have a really bad problem with overhyped books where I just cannot stand the thought of reading them for some reason. I have no idea why my brain works that way, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. So yeah, but I ended up really liking it. I did even read the last one, the prequel, The prequel felt like it needed to be shorter. That's all I'm gonna say. But I did end up watching the movies for the first time too, and ended up enjoying it. And these copies came out, and I didn't have my copies anymore because I was like, it's not super attached to them, but these are gorgeous, and so I was like, yeah, I liked it enough. I'll have these for my personal collection. And the new one's going to be coming out March 17th, I believe, which I'm really excited for because I'm told that that one's going to be from Haymitch's perspective. And we love Haymitch. We love him. But for the other covers, just for reference because they are gorgeous. Yeah. The next two books that I have are from the same author, but they're not the same series, to clarify. So I have Everwild from Neal Shusterman and All Better Now, also from Neal Shusterman. I'm determined that I'm going to end up reading Neal's backlog this year. That is one of my goals, my two goals for the year for sure. I told myself February and January would be my months that I could just kind of read around and do whatever I wanted. But starting in March, I want to go through and reread all the Rick Riordan books. So I want to read like Percy Jackson and then have a cleanser book and then read the next series and have a cleanser book, so on and so forth. And I also want to read all of Neal's backlog that I can. So this is the second book in the Everlost trilogy. The first one is pretty good, honestly, although some of the characters had me just kind of tilting my head back and forth because I just couldn't quite wrap my brain around them. But to be fair, they are literal kids and some teenagers who are getting trapped in between, like, life and death. They're dead, but, like, they haven't gone wherever their final resting place is, you know? Yeah, but then there's like a lot of made up rules and there's some like urban myth and things like that. But the first book ends with one of the main characters kind of going off of the deep end, and so I'm excited to see where the next book goes in the series, and then hopefully the third book also will be pretty good. Fingers crossed. For All Better Now, I am almost done with it. I had gotten this originally as an e-arc from NetGalley, and I had been reading it before it came out, but of course I did pick up a copy from my personal collection because I do plan to keep most of Neal's books, with the exception being The Dark Side of Nowhere, because that one was not as good as I remember it being. Even though that was my favorite middle school book, I don't remember it being what it was at all, and so I kind of felt pretty disappointed, I'm not gonna lie to you. But it's okay, I still gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It just wasn't for me. Sorry, Neal. But everything else I've read from you, I've enjoyed and loved. So, expect a review for this soon. It is basically a YA dystopian where there's a new pandemic called Crown Royale going around, and if you catch it, you're just content with life. You have no negative emotions, etc., etc. And some people don't want to see that happen. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm thinking it's going to end up being a 5-star read for me. We'll find out. The next book that I have to talk about, I don't have much to say on, but it is The Whispering Dark from Kelly Andrew, which if you have watched my first review for the year, you already know that I have finished and loved. However, this was a special edition and it's signed, and it was only like $9, so I had to get it. I'm hoping that I can get some signed editions of her other books as well. I kind of just want them for my personal collection, you know? But this one's gorgeous. Back, gorgeous. Inside, gorge. It's got special edges, and I know that's pretty hard to see, but they are adorable. It's also got art on the inside this jacket, which I'm obsessed with. I love. It came with this little note card from Kelly with the OG cover, and of course the signed page. Look at how pretty it is. I love it. But I couldn't resist buying the copy at all. I mean, could you say no? It was less than $10 and it's signed and it's a special edition. Who would pass that up? The last thing that I had bought before we get into the books that I got free from work was Monsters Born and Made. It's by Tanvi Barwa. I could not, for the life of me, find any pronunciation guide for her name. So, if anyone has the author's name pronunciation corrections for me, that would be great, because I'm so sorry that I couldn't find anything, but I hopefully didn't butcher it. But this one is set in the same universe as Somewhere in the Deep, which I will be posting a review on soon because I did finish it for the year, which got 4 stars from me. Apparently they are companion novels, and the author did make a note saying this one should have been read first, but I had picked up Somewhere in the Deep not realizing that, which was my mistake. But I'm pretty excited. I enjoyed Somewhere in the Deep for what it was, so I'm hoping that this one will be just as good since it's in the same universe. First book is a complete copy of Feast and Famine, The Last Great Heir. This is by Karina Finn. The other version of it, Out Ran Out, has sprayed edges. This one, of course, does not, but that is okay. It's a middle grade fantasy read and is apparently supposed to be pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it, and I think the cover is gorgeous. That's what drew me into it. Okay, the next novel that I have is Retreat from Christian Bitter. This is a mystery thriller. I am still desperately trying to find something in the genre that I enjoy, since that used to be all that I read. I'm guessing the ending's like 10% into the book, and it's really harshing my vibe, so if anyone has any really good mystery thriller recommendations, I would love for you to send them my way. The next book that I have is a YA speculative fiction novel. It is I Am Not Jessica Jin. It's by Yan Liang. Hopefully I have pronounced that right. But it is apparently about a girl who wishes to be her flawless cousin, and it comes true. I'm pretty excited for it. This is an ARC that I received. It says that it's not supposed to be out until April, but we are already selling this at our store, so I'm pretty sure it's already out. The next book I have is another YA fiction novel. It is Afterlife from Gail Foreman. This is the author who wrote If I Stay, which I remember loving in middle school. This one is supposed to be about a girl who apparently has a mysterious return from death. She died 7 years ago, and she sees her mom, and her mom starts screaming. So, yeah, I'm excited to get into it. This one is already out. It came out, I believe, on the 25th of January. The last book that I have is Bird of a Thousand Stories. It's by Kiash Monsif. This is another ARC that I received at work that is supposed to be out, I believe, this month sometime. I believe it was the 4th that it came out, so this should already be in stores. But yeah, I don't know, it's fantasy, and I've been getting more into fantasy lately, so I thought I would give it a go because it sounded pretty good. And there you have it. That is my first haul for the year. Hopefully I didn't butcher any authors' names, and I tried to keep everything to a minimal as far as what kind of details I was giving you, just because I don't know a lot about the books. I remember reading the synopsises and thinking, oh, that sounds good, or picking up the covers and going, oh, this looks good, and then deciding, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And also just because I want you guys to be able to find out for yourselves. You know, I like to go into books pretty blind for the most part. I'll read the synopsis and then I'll bring it home, and if it's not something I desperately feel like reading at that moment in time, I kind of sort of forget about it until I go, this is calling to me from my shelf, so I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna give it a go. But yeah, so thanks so much for watching my videos. Hopefully you guys have gotten some good things via your Christmas gift cards or birthday gift cards over the last 2 months, since January is a huge time for people to be spending their gift cards at places. Tell me if you've picked up anything good, if you've gotten any fun special editions, or if you have any recommendations. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.